Hello, my dear boys. Many men who need to travel overseas to find a Ukrainian wife often consider traveling for 10 days or 2 weeks or more to meet several women after prior communication. If you cannot arrange it the way meeting one woman per trip, per visit, please plan this trip of yours as well as your dating schedule with maximum attention and caution. Why you must do it and why to pay attention, what to pay attention to, I will tell in this video. Please pay attention. Meeting one woman during your visit is not meeting one or two women. You either meet just one, or here in our case, more than one means several. The biggest three problems with traveling to meet several women during one trip is that, first, you cannot physically focus on one woman, her advantages, her disadvantages, how your interaction goes. You cannot concentrate. Second problem, they see and sense you are doing a serial dater's game and will avoid you. Third problem, you get very overwhelmed real soon, which deactivates your sensitivity. The bad thing here is that with such an approach, you are in a risky group with Ukrainian women. Since you are overwhelmed, overloaded with information, you must be multitask. You must go shallow. You don't have other option. You cannot make it right choice of a wife. What follows after choosing their own spouse? Yes, my boy. Divorce, broken heart, cold bed, loneliness, feeling useless, unloved, splitting kids, property. While some people are afraid of divorce because of financial loss, what we are all really afraid of is the most awful feeling that divorce carries into our lives. Feeling of abandonment and uselessness. Most awful feelings in the world when we have nothing left but to pray hard that God keeps our desire to continue to live this life. We want to avoid divorce. This goes to show that you either must make it seamless so you can make it right choice during your trip and analyze each good candidate properly so you don't make the wrong choice, or you meet one woman on one trip. I know that so many of you, my boys, are limited by vacation during the year, so you can invest into your dating Ukraine trips. And overseas flights are also costly, so I want to help you in this video to plan your trip for meeting multiple women with maximum prudence so you can succeed. Please pay attention. It's a difficult task, my boy. Those of you who watch my videos are not serial daters and you are good people overall. This means that you are honest people. For an honest person, it's not too simple to switch from one woman to another seamlessly. Let's try to be practical and see what we can do. I use my matchmakers and psychoanalyst experience here for this video together with your dating, travel experience and your results. So take advantage of it. I will recommend filling in physical papers with questions, answers, forms for each woman and systemizing the information about each woman smartly. Take a A4 piece of paper, pen, liner, red and green markers. So what you can do to help yourself the best way possible. First of all, make sure and make it as a rule, my boy. You meet one woman per day. One day, one woman, not more. This is This must be valid for first, second, third dates. Before you date, you think of her, and after a date, you think of her, and you look through your forms. No chats with other women that day. Only one woman in your mind and your thoughts. You concentrate, you focus on her, what she translates. Is she a fit? Does she really want me in all senses? In bedroom, for life, for a father of our kids? This is the best you can do. Another rule. Make sure you never meet different women in the same restaurant. You will be caught 100% that you are doing multiple dates. Just take it for what it is. Never ever you go on the same place with different women. Let's go further. Find restaurants online before you travel and plan where you will go with each woman. Consider her food preferences while choosing the restaurant. If the woman is decent, she takes your choice. First you find places, then check reviews on famous travel platform to see if these are not scam restaurant for foreigners. And if it's okay with the restaurant, then you put it on your agenda. Go further. Small gifts for your children you buy in advance at home on the first date before you meet your woman. Make a list of kids you are buying gifts for and accordingly buy for each. Mark each gift. Barbie for a girl, Lego, Meccano, or another constructor for boys. Buying gifts for your kids, consider their ages. No sweets, please. Nowadays, more and more women don't tolerate sweets for children. Go further. The day of your arrival, make 5 or 6 places of storage bunches where you put your plastic folders with information, gifts for her children, the rest of things related to her, to one woman, one bunch of stuff. Go further. Buy gifts for each woman in advance, not the day of your date. For the first date, good candies are enough. For the second date, if the first went well, flowers and even perfumes are good. But it must depend on the tonality and result of the first meeting. So it must be relevant. If you didn't like her, she didn't like you, why should you meet for the second time, and how flowers are involved here? Go further. On the very first day you arrive, take care about local cash money, gifts, so on. And during your dates, you are involved in communication with your potential future wife and not arranging things, okay? Let's move on. Even before you buy tickets, try to plan and arrange as much for your trip as you can in advance. Keep in focus 2 things too. No way in hell you want to get caught on serial dating, because you lose the woman once she senses that. And second thing you focus on, you want to be actually able to evaluate how good each woman is. And for that, you need emotional and time space. That's why I'm telling you all these things, to free as much space as we can. My boy, we are doing that to allow maximum of your potential efforts for women and consideration, and not for arranging things. Couple more rules on a date when you are on a date already. No way in hell you look around and stare other women while sitting and talking to your date. Forget to succeed on this trip if you allow yourself to stare at all the beautiful women around. Ukraine is full of beautiful women. Watch out. Another rule. No way in hell you are on a phone during your date. You talk to your woman and this is it. Forget your phone or comment on an urgent call from your mom if she calls, or if your boss calls, your customers call, whatever. Don't abuse phone. Or continue to talk to if women are asking, do you plan to meet other women, then you say to everybody the same thing, depending on how it will work for us. Another rule: if you met life and you see that you don't like the woman you are meeting for life, don't make the meeting longer than 1 or 2 hours maximum. Don't tell compliments. Don't try to flatter, okay? Don't pretend, please. You don't owe each other anything but respect on this date, right? Respect her expectations, her feelings, and her time. If you don't like her, talk as a respectful and not romantic conversation requires, okay? Many men think their flatter will excuse you don't like the woman. No, on the contrary, she will have her expectations thinking you like her. This is unfair. It is painful later to find out you were treated this way because that person is weak to be simply respectful. If you don't like her, just say 20 minutes before the end of the date that you will need to go in 20 minutes. So it's time to ask for the bill in the restaurant, to call the taxi. Please don't pretend. Don't flatter. You don't behave the way you don't want to be treated later, right? Go on. Care to pay for the taxi for every woman you meet. The perfect choice is to register with some taxi service like what we have here, that Uber, whatever they have in that region, and pay for her travel home without giving her or driver the money. It would be the best option. No money given in hand. It would be the best option, really. So, before you even start considering her for your trip to date, answer such questions honestly. Did she ever mention she needs money? Did she hint me she needs money? Did she say she needs new phone, computer, etc., so you can continue talking? Did she mention she wants a man to buy her gifts? Did she directly ask you for money or gifts? Did she ever mention sick relatives, war, etc., so you send her the money? If you have answered yes to some of these questions, you must clearly admit this is not a decent or well-brought, ethical, and highly moral Ukrainian woman. You must think many times if you want an indecent woman for a partner for life and a mother for your kids. It's your responsibility to think about that. If you, my boy, share it with your mother, she would approve of what I say. The woman either wants you as a man, friend, lover, father of your future kids, and then your money, or she is not the woman for you. But to make sure, she needs you as a man, sexual partner, etc., you must spend quality time together and observe very attentively, seeking answers to these questions, right? First thing, she must want you as a man and sexual partner. That's what we evaluate on the first date. The rest you evaluate after you check this out. No sexual interest on her side revealed, she doesn't want you. So, if physical intimacy is important for you, forget this woman for good and switch to another. You must see that horny something in her eyes. The rest goes after, okay? Ask your mom. She's a woman too. She will approve of what I suggest. If your mom is watching over you from the cloud already, speak to her still. She's if you had good relationships with her while she was alive. She will always there watching over you. She's your mom. And she recommends the best. Invest your time into this discussion. Cry a bit talking to her. She's the only woman who would never judge you for tears. Sure thing, you talk to your mom. If she's supportive and loves you unconditionally. Let's go on. Before considering a woman for life meeting, fill in such a form with specific questions. I will show you an example of the form a little bit later, but now questions. Is she a good fit for me? Do we have mutual chemistry? Is she really physically attracted to me as a man? Do I enjoy her as she is? Her voice, tonality of her voice are comfortable for me. Is her speed of speech comfortable for me? Overall, do I feel comfortable about how she talks? Nothing irritates me. Do we really physically click? Do our goals, visions of life, plans for life, main life rules, principles, do they coincide? Do we look in the same direction in life? Are we on the same level? Are we on the same wave? What is the evidence and proof that it is so or not so? Be detailed here. How did she prove by actions and confessions that she is such? Is she agreeable enough for discussing family roles? How do I evaluate this? Which facts I use to evaluate this? Make your forms simple, like my example form. Here, let me show it to you 1 minute. You see, a very simple form, right? I put the name here. You make 2 columns. Here is the column for your questions. Is she a good fit? And here you respond. Here you respond. So far, I think so, because first reason, second reason, third reason, other reasons. You don't make lining, you just write. When you are done, then you make lining and switch to the next point. All these points you will take in my video. You will put a pause in the video and make all these points. Okay? And the same, like, is she a good fit? Tra-ta-ta. Do we have mutual chemistry? I think yes, because first reason, tra-ta-ta. Second reason, tra-ta-ta. Third reason, tra-ta-ta. Then you make a line. Is she attracted to me as a man? I think yes, because te. Or I think no, because te. Am I comfortable with her voice? Here I allow you percents. I encourage you for percents. Her voice, yes, I'm comfortable with her voice 100%. Tonality of her voice, yes, 75%. A bit loud for me. Speed of her speech, no, only 45%. When you have it less than 50%, you have to mark it as no. 45% speaks too fast. You must understand. If she speaks too fast, her temper maybe not a fit for you. With my customers, we go through that in the laws of compatibility, but I am here just giving you hints so you see where you have to look into, okay? So the form, and you don't forget you have this liner for your making your forms, liner and red and green markers, okay? I will tell you later how you use those markers. So with every form, you go just like I showed you. You write this here, you write this there, and you use as many pieces of paper as you need. Because you see, I marked page 1 because there are other. After one form is done, you look at your answers with your inner balance and calmness. You know in which block results are satisfactory and promising for you, and where they are wrong and not true and not good for you. You know that. Looking at results and evaluating them with your inner vision, you use your green marker and red marker. And let me show you how I suggest to do it. For example, just like with this example, with how you feel comfortable with talking to her overall, you would mark yes 100% with green line, right? You would mark yes 75% with green line. But you will mark no with red line, because you must see where you have things you don't feel comfortable with. It's very important because you will live with this woman for life. You don't have to be irritated by things like that. Don't think this is not important. It's very important, because if you are not comfortable with the person around, very soon you will be tired of her. Just get to understand it. Just take it for what it is. Think about that, how often you may get irritated by people. First of all, you are in love. In the beginning, you are in love, but then things come down, and negative things which may irritate you, they will come on the front line. So don't joke with that. Let's move on. So you line things with red and green. The trick for these forms is this. Great thing. You do consider this woman and think her over the way. It must be done this way when you write by hand, because appropriate parts of your brain are used here when you write by hand. You later look through your forms, and you look as many notice with one woman is green and how many with other woman is red. You will easily get cautious where needed. Lots of red, you must get cautious, and you will. If you clearly see she is a fit with your responses, go to the next part. Before you put a woman in the list of meetings, fill in the form and answer such simple but very necessary questions. Also, do forms which are simple like this. So, questions. Why is she a worthy woman for me? Put all your reasons. Why am I worthy man for her? Am I sure I'm a fit for her? Her advantages, her disadvantages. Seems like nothing special, but more than 70% of you, my boys, even refuse to put a woman in the list of dates after answering these questions in paper form, because you see it clearly on the paper, while when it's all in your mind, you don't see it. You cannot do it like this. It's different things. Miracle happen when you use paper forms. If results in the form are obviously good, move to the next part. Long video, right? So, after you do that, go to another analytical part of preparation. Did our communication really grow since the day we started talking? For that, you fill another simple form with such questions. Am I honest with myself evaluating this? What shows me our communication grows? How does she show her obvious, true, sincere interest in me as a man? Which questions she is asking me, so I can see she's truly interested. Did she develop feelings? Did we develop feelings? Does she reveal her feelings for me? Which way and by what means does she deliver her love for you? It's a matter of confessions and real actions. You understand this? If here everything is fine, including, include this woman in the list of your Ukraine dates. Go on. Collect all the information about every woman you included into your list of meetings. Print it out and take these simple plastic holders for each woman. Each holder must have her photo printed out and marked brightly with thick big letters. Anna, 34 years old, the interior designer, loves angels and demons perfume and Asian food. You must immediately recognize, without taking out and reading, whose information is in this holder. You see, it should all be written there. It saves your emotional energy and time, my boy. Go on. Before each meeting, you look through all the information you have about the woman, including your own forms, which you filled in before. So you can see how good this woman is for you based on your evaluation. Looking through your forms after a date will help you with insights after you meet her life. Your heart and mind will work in cooperation. You must go on a date with clear expectations, with checklist, what you will observe and which points you will check out. Also, you have her details fresh in your mind, look through them before you go on a date. After looking through her information, you must clearly remember her name, her job, her age, her kids' names and their job, situation with their father, her main hobbies she regularly practices and invests her time into, her favorite food, her favorite perfume, what makes her special for you. Basics. Then you go on a date. After each first date, you fill in another simple physical paper form. Computer, phone version don't work, my boy. You do the form simple way. You print out these templates of this form before your flight and put each template into each plastic holder. A form after a date might contain such questions. Be honest with responses to choose the right wife, please. So, do I want to meet again? Why? Yes, no. Yes, no, and why? Does she like me as a man? Proofs needed for yes and no, please. What did I like about the date? What I dislike about the date? What did I like about her behavior? What did I dislike about her behavior? Money hints or direct addressing was there or not? Were there any contradictions between initially provided information? Like before the meeting she said she doesn't smoke, but on a date she did, etc. What is my impression overall? Here, put as much as you have to say, and later you use markers to underline green and red things, okay? Look through your forms. Think about your reaction, her reaction on you as a male. Rely on your impressions and what your heart and your gut says. Too much work, I know. Don't want to fail? If you don't want to fail, if you want a happy marriage, you can direct message me. I will see if I can help you at all. With this trip, if you meet more than one woman, please go smart, go respectfully, go attentively, and please never give up on love. Love is waiting for you to let her into your heart and your life. I love you very, very, very much, my boys. If you share my recommendations with your mom, she will approve of what I say. Love you.